BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy is set to begin a prison sentence next week, a landmark moment in post-war French history. The judicial process has culminated in an order for Sarkozy, who led France from 2007 to 2012, to report to La Santé prison in southern Paris on October 21. This directive follows a court's decision last month to impose a 5-year prison sentence for criminal conspiracy, stemming from a scheme to secure campaign funds from the regime of the late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi. The 70-year-old's impending incarceration marks him as the first former leader of France and the first former head of an EU country to face jail time. This development comes after Sarkozy had already become the first former French head of state to be placed under house arrest with an electronic tag, following a separate conviction for corruption and influence peddling related to illicit efforts to gain favor from a judge. In that instance, a 1-year sentence was converted into a period served with an ankle tag for 3 months before conditional release. Despite maintaining his innocence and denying any involvement in a criminal conspiracy to obtain election funding from Libya for his successful 2007 presidential campaign, Sarkozy is now compelled to begin his sentence while his appeal process unfolds, with a new trial anticipated in approximately 6 months. Reports indicate that Sarkozy recently hosted a gathering of around 100 friends and former associates in Paris, described by some as a farewell event before his incarceration. Le Figaro quoted Sarkozy telling his guests of his conviction that he is innocent and that his guilty verdict was unwarranted. He reportedly remarked on the prospect of prison by stating his intention to bear his burden without seeking special treatment, emphasizing a resolve to see it through to the end. Within the confines of La Santé prison, Sarkozy is expected to be accommodated in an individual cell, with provisions for 1 hour of exercise per day and 3 weekly visits. The prison itself boasts a storied 158-year history, having housed notable figures such as the terrorist Carlos the Jackal and the war criminal Maurice Papon. It is understood that Sarkozy will likely be placed in a specialized wing for vulnerable inmates, sometimes referred to as a VIP wing, which offers enhanced privacy. In this section, prisoners occupy individual cells of 9 square meters and are kept separate during exercise periods. Patrick Balkany, a former right-wing mayor and once a friend of Sarkozy, experienced this isolation in 2019 after a conviction for tax fraud, describing the psychological toll but acknowledging its benefit in preventing unwanted attention from other inmates. Sarkozy's conviction was for criminal conspiracy, though he was acquitted of charges including corruption, misuse of Libyan public funds, and illegal campaign financing. The prosecution had characterized Sarkozy's actions as a Faustian pact of corruption with one of the most unspeakable dictators of the last 30 years to secure the vital election funding from Gaddafi. Following the delivery of the guilty verdict, Sarkozy had defiantly declared outside the courtroom that if he was absolutely required to sleep in jail, he would do so with his head